Good morning. This is Rebecca Lee, and I am talking about the power of affirmations today. I am doing a series. I'm currently in the middle of recording a series called The Beautiful Life, and it's off of a booklet I put together. I think I'm like about halfway through. I'm doing just a little short video on each one of these little affirmations. But today I wanted to talk about the power of affirmations, how I use them, why I use them, and how you can create your own affirmations, specifically to what your current struggles are. What are you going through right now, and how those things affect your life, affect your perspective and your outlook, and how affirmations can just remind you that things are okay, things are going to be all right, and maybe even help you get into a better state of mind to kind of solve those problems. The thing about life is it is a series of problems. When you read a story or you watch a movie or a TV show, there cannot be a show without some problem that the characters are facing. Otherwise it would be very dull. Even when we have like talk shows or different things, there has to be something that we're dealing with. Otherwise there's like no subject matter, right? We can talk about things that are enjoyable, but problems are going to crop up, and there's going to be they're going to be more central. So anyway, I don't want to babble, but what I do as I approach a problem, I approach it as something that is not a bad thing. It's just a sign showing me which way I need to go. Which way do I need to look? What am I missing? When I excuse me, when I look at problems this way, it helps to relax me. It helps me to not worry, because worry doesn't help. Worry only holds you back, and it's not going to help you solve the problem. When you start to worry about something, it's good in that it triggers you that there's something maybe to think about, or maybe something that you're not letting go of, if it's out of your control. And as far as that's concerned, then worry is good, but it's done its job at that point, and then you need to let go of the worry and either figure out a plan, or if you're too upset to figure out a plan, focus on ways to calm down and rest until those epiphanies and ideas can come to you. So I'm going to very quickly share with you my 10 favorite affirmations that I've got in this little booklet, and then I'm going to kind of go over how you can create your own, like I said. So anyway, the very first one is choose happiness now. And basically what I do with this affirmation is any time that I'm feeling frustrated or sad, I get severe depression sometimes, and normally it's taken care of, but there's different things that kind of trigger and make the depression worse. So, or sometimes every once in a while I'll get a really bad headache. It can turn into a migraine. But anyway, you get the idea. There's pain in life. And so when pain comes to us, we can either focus on the pain, or we can, like I said, do what we can about the pain, and then find things to be happy about, and not just focus on the pain. So that's what choose happiness now does for me. Anytime I'm sad or uncomfortable or whatever it is, I say, okay, but what beautiful thing is around me? What can I smile and be happy with? My pets help me a lot with that. Like the kitty in the picture, that's actually Boo, and we've got Boo, Bootsy, and Xena over here in my household, and they are a big reminder of the choose happiness now for me. So the second affirmation that helps me a lot is don't chase the details. And don't chase the details just means that we don't get caught up on how we think things should turn out. So like right now I'm dealing with not, I'm sharing a vehicle with my daughter. And so she goes and spends time with her dad, and she spends time with me. So while she's at her dad's, then I don't have a car. I also don't have I'm working from home right now, so I don't have a job I have to go to. The weather's been really nice, so I'm able to get out, walk around. I have stores in walking distance. So instead of getting hung up on the detail that I have not been carless, I think since I've been an adult, I've always had a car. I've been very blessed that way. So it would be very easy for me to get hung up on the fact that I'm carless, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Instead of getting hung up on that detail, I focus on the positives. I focus on the good things. So anyway, that's what the don't get caught or don't chase the details means. I'm not going to, pursue a way to replace my vehicle right now. I keep the options open. I'm kind of waiting to see what turns up for me. But my energy is better spent doing other things, working on my business. Anyway, you get the idea. I am kind of, because of the whole car situation, I'm kind of feeling off track. So please bear with me, because it is a big adjustment. Like I said, I have not been carless since I could drive. So anyway, moving on, enjoy your journey. This is an important one too. I think all of these kind of fit together. It's just different facets to kind of consider. And that's what's going to make the affirmation powerful for you, is your point of view, how you see the world, is going to affect what affirmation will help you best. But when I think of enjoying my journey, this is even like a bigger part of, this applies to some of the bigger things that can happen, that you lose your job, you lose a loved one, something really hard is happening. You can remind yourself that this is just part of your journey, and that every journey has hard things along the way, and that you honor the difficult situation for what it is. You honor whatever part of the journey you're in as something that you're either going to be able to overcome, or something that's going to teach you, or something that's going to show you a different way of looking at things. Perhaps if you lose your job, it was a job you're not meant to be in, and it's just life kind of helping you to turn your focus in a different direction. So enjoying your journey is all about accepting exactly where you are and not judging it, just saying this is where I am, and and just honoring it, enjoying it the best that you can. Obviously, you're not going to enjoy the hard parts, but just sitting with those. Anyway, I'll move on. The next one that really helps me, especially at this point, at this time in my life, is follow your passions. And that is exactly what I'm doing right now. I walked away from a nanny position so that I could write some books. I have some guided journals that I want to write. I have one that I've put out, but I have a lot of changes that I want to make to it. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm following my passions. But doesn't necessarily mean for you, and it didn't mean for me for a long time, that I needed to quit my job. That's just where I'm at. You can follow your passions by, like, I started out writing a blog. I still had a nanny position, but I also wrote a blog. I started some Facebook groups. You can take steps toward what you're passionate about. And, don't just get into the day-to-day actions where you're just working, paying the bills, cleaning the house, doing all these things in rote. Those things are great to do. I mean, you have to do those things. But make sure that you're not like stuck on autopilot, that you're moving toward what your heart desires. And if you don't know what that is, perhaps you've been stuck on autopilot so long that you can't see where your passions lie anymore. Think back when you were a child and see if you can glean some hints from that, or just start exploring. Do you enjoy art? Do you enjoy music? Do you even enjoy like video games? You can start exploring how to build them, or build video games, or maybe you can volunteer, big brother, big sister kind of thing, and play video games with a child who's needing some adult supervision. I'm getting off on a tangent here, but hopefully the example is helping. There's always something you can do to explore where your passions lie. And basically that's just living. Just live. Don't get stuck on that autopilot. Always be curious. Always be searching for the beautiful thing. And enjoy the search. Make sure that you're enjoying the search. And I'll get into that in a second too, another affirmation that I have. But worry is useless. Faith is priceless. This is a big one that I hold on to also. I have 3 children. They're all driving. My son is 20. He'll turn 21 soon, and then he's going to get married. My daughter's 18. She just moved out this summer. My other daughter is 16, and she just got her driver's license. So obviously I have a few things that I could worry about. I'm a mom. And so every time that worry kind of grips my heart for them, I'm worried about, all these things that could happen. I remind myself, worry is useless. It's not helping at all. And faith is priceless. And faith is priceless because it can help you enjoy all the moments that you're having that you miss out on when you worry. Because faith says, don't worry about that right now. I've got it. I'm taking care of it. And I have a strong faith in God. I have a strong faith in love. And I let love carry me through. So that's what that one's about. Now here's another one that I really love, and especially if I'm feeling a lot of depression, this one can really help to soothe me and keep me smiling through the storm, through it's like a chemical sadness is how I describe it, because it's a sadness that comes on you and there's no reason for it. Feels really awful. But anyway, a mindful life is a beautiful life. I first heard of the concept of mindfulness in 2006 when I was introduced to DBT, dialectical behavior therapy. And this is something, especially in the last 2 years even, that I have really been practicing and has really changed my life. I mean, I knew what it was and I sort of practiced it every now and again, but really the last 2 years I've been immersing myself in it. And basically it just means paying attention. You let go of the judgmental attitudes about things. You don't overthink. You're just here. You just observe. You feel your 5 physical senses. You notice the thoughts that you have. You notice the actions people have, but you don't place judgments on any of it. You just observe. And I can't explain how magical this is. I can't explain why it works, but it always makes me feel peaceful. It always settles me down. So if you don't practice this mindfulness, I would encourage you to look into it and really consider practicing mindfulness. Anyway, the next one is I believe in love. And this one helps me a lot, especially when I get sucked into watching news stories, or you see things happen that are just awful, or things happen to you, somebody treats you wrong. And the I believe in love helps, because I believe that we all have love within us, and that we all will lose our way when we allow fear to kind of cover up that love. And so whenever I see things that are difficult to understand, I cling to love. And I say, I believe there's a reason, and I believe that love has this. And again, I go to that non-judgmental attitude where I'm like, I don't have to make a decision. If I'm not on a jury, if I'm not the judge, if I'm not creating laws, then my judgment of this situation is not going to help. Judgment is great for making decisions, but when I'm not making a decision, I can rest in love, and I can rest in the fact that I'm taken care of and it's okay. And that I am a spiritual being. We are all spirits inhabiting human bodies. And our spirit is indestructible. So even though our body can be harmed, our spirit cannot. And I believe our spirit is made up of love. And that's I could preach a lot on that. But anyway, that's one that really helps me, is I believe in love. I even have just love tattooed on my arm. It's difficult to show you, but it keeps me grounded, remembering that love's got this. If I don't understand, it's okay. Love's got this. Okay, the next one is keep looking up. And this one kind of ties in with the mindfulness one, because I literally mean keep looking up. When I look up at the sky, during the day, I see the big billowy clouds, or I see a clear blue sky. I'm fortunate to live in Colorado, and because of our high elevation, you can almost see the sphere when you look up. You can see the roundness of the sky. Whereas back where I'm from in Texas, it's just, when you look up at the sky, it's just flat, or it appears flat. But here, you can almost see the dome when you look up, and it reminds you that you're on a planet and we're floating in space. And this used to make me feel real small and insecure, but now it kind of sets me free, because I'm like, all these problems that I have, all these things are really insignificant. All I have to do is follow love and just be part of this beautiful humanity, this beautiful earth. And, I can share my light. Anyway, I don't want to get off on that, but maybe there's not a full explanation there at this time, but looking up at the sky brings me peace. So that's why keep looking up is a good one for me. Life is an adventure. This is another one that really helps, because, again, when those problems happen, when I lost my car, I used to really want to be an actress, and my daughter, Veronica, wants to be an actress, so it makes me happy. But when things happen, like, oh, I lost my car, now what am I going to do? And it just feels like, ugh, I don't want to deal with this. I say, you know what, life's an adventure. Let's see where this takes me. And I stay curious about where I'm going to go, where I'll end up next. And it helps to put myself into a scenario like an actress needs to do. And so I'll say, okay, if I was an actress in a movie, or, this is just a storyline, what could I do to make this fun and interesting? What could I do to make this an exciting story? Obviously, I'm going to keep myself safe, and I'm going to keep my family safe. But what attitude can I have to approach this from a standpoint of life is fun, and I'm not going to let this stuff get me down. I'm going to view it as an adventure, and, here we go. Let's go. So, life is an adventure. The very last one that I want to share with you today is share your smiles. And this one is very, very powerful too, because when we share our smiles with others, or share our kindness, it connects us. When you see someone who really needs a smile, who's really having a hard day, and you smile at them and you treat them kindly, even if maybe initially they're coming off as rude, it changes their demeanor. It softens them. And it's not always the case. Sometimes you're gonna smile at them and they're just gonna give you a blank stare, or they'll stare off into space. Well, they're in a position where they're far enough away from the smiles, or from being able to be connected with others, that a smile isn't going to draw them in, but they still remember it. And I think maybe if they get 7, 8, 9 smiles, maybe they'll start to feel better. But regardless of whether a smile helps someone else or not, anytime that you offer kindness to another person, it always comes back to you in one form or another. So it's a good idea to build up that reservoir of kindness, because you're going to need it, right? We all need others to be kind to us. So the more kindness you put out, the more kindness you will get back. So that's one that I really enjoy, especially when somebody's being ugly or rude. I remember a time when I was ugly or rude, and why? And it was because I was in pain and I was hurting, especially after my divorce way back in 2012. I was rude. I was hurtful to several people, and I just was in a lot of pain. And I felt justified in my rudeness for whatever reason. But anyway, I could do a whole video on that. But just understand that people are just people, and they're doing the best they can, and share your kindness. So what I have done is I've taken these 10 affirmations. I had this book produced. I want to sell them, but I'm not sure. I've sold a few, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the path that I end up taking. But I also printed up some cards that I carry along with me, and that way, as I go throughout my day, I'm reminded, because sometimes it's hard when you're in the middle of problems or frustrations. It's hard to remember, so having a physical reminder is really helpful. So that's how affirmations are so powerful in my life. So find an affirmation that's powerful in your life. Take the problem that you're struggling with and say, this problem cannot hurt my indestructible spirit. The core of me is not physical, and so physical things cannot hurt me. Take the problem and look at it through the eyes of love. Imagine, how does God see this problem? Imagine, how would I see this problem looking down, from heaven, if I was looking at somebody else? Or maybe I'm still, in my human form, but I see somebody else with this problem. How could I, what would I think they should do to solve the problem, right? Anyway, when you look at it that way, you can come up with affirmations of your own that will help you to get through, and just to keep reminding yourself, because there's distractions constantly, especially in our time of technology. People are always distracting us with different ideas and money-making schemes and all of this. So these affirmations are a way to keep you on track. And the other thing I would say is spend a few minutes each morning just really going over those affirmations, or just sitting still and breathing, just envisioning love enveloping you before you go through your day and try to get everything done. It really helps to just sit, be still, realize that there's more to life than just these silly things that we worry about. And that in the big picture, they really are just silly things. So anyway, I hope this helps somebody. I tend to ramble, so hopefully my ramble helped you. If it did, give me a thumbs up. If you want to hear more, subscribe to my channel. And if you think somebody else would enjoy this video, share it, send it on to them. But whatever you guys do, go have an amazing day. I love you so much. I really do. I appreciate each one of you that comes on here and watches. Even if you didn't like it, even if you gave me a chance, and you end up saying that, well, this isn't for me, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you, giving me a chance. So anyway, I love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.